particularly remember deciding not to wake up last night, but I didn't. So I just slept through like an absolute log through both sets of alarms. Because obviously I set an alarm for when I first wake up at 12:30, and my other alarm at like 6. The one I remember was Laura's going off at 8. So I was always kind of aware that I was pushing my luck yesterday by changing all of my hours around, just as it was starting to get hard, but it was worth it. I had a good day yesterday. And I'm having a good day today, so a little bit of both fun, you know. I did some, so I got up, I took Laura to uni, and then came back, dad run, so I clicked in for a bit, and then I did some stuff on the website. I feel like I'm feature complete, but there's one page, the pricing page, that I just can't get it to look right. I feel like I either need someone to go through and filter out a load of text, or I need to think of a way of making it look good. And I was using this like grid system. Like what I come upstairs for? I came upstairs for my Nexus. Can't find it either. So yeah, I was using this table to display like a kind of a grid of differences between the different tiers that I'm offering. But it just didn't scale right, it didn't go down to mobile right, so I've changed that and now to something else. But at the end of the day, I've got 3 big paragraphs of text and only one table, and it's really difficult to split that out so it doesn't just look like slabs and slabs of text. But yeah, so I did that for a little bit. Got to about 12 o'clock, had some lunch, played some Xbox with Sean, played this Apex Legends game, which is the game I was playing yesterday. It's really good fun. It's really, really good fun, and it's really cool that we've like found a good game that we can play together. It's not very good if you're playing on your own, but if you've got like a team of people, it's great. So thoroughly enjoyed it. And now it's about 2 o'clock. I'm making myself a cup of tea. I'm going to do the washing up and just tidy up in here a little bit because I feel like Laura comes back. She'll be like, "Oh, such a mess in here." She's at uni. Finishes at 3 and going to walk back. And then we'll do dinner and whatnot. So, but yeah, I feel like I'm going to do the washing up, tidy stuff away, and do a bit of a flash wipe around, have my cup of tea, and then go back upstairs, fine-tooth comb my blog posts, and then do a bit of programming. I think I am properly laughing now with the site. I think it's done. I just want Laura to proofread something. I figured out a way to get the stuff being displayed properly on that page. Laura thinks I can cut it down a bit, so she's looking at that. I sent her the Google Doc with it all on. But effectively we should be up and running. I'm hoping to publish it on Monday, but I'm not sure if Laura's going to have time, so I might have to wait a bit longer than that. But yeah, so I think I'm more or less happy with it. I just want an extra set of eyes on it, effectively. Appreciate I can't always have an extra set of eyes on things, but it's what she's good at, you know. Otherwise we had dinner. Laura went to bed early because she didn't get back really late last night. It's only an hour after me, to be honest. But she's not very good at 8 hours sleep. She needs more than that. So she went to bed early. I carried on watching TV, and I'm about to head to bed as well because I need to wake up. None of this. What time is it, man? For this pissing about malarkey. I've had a day off from the naps. I was supposed to. I probably should. I never know if you miss the night whether or not you should nap again. I feel like you wouldn't nap and then I don't know. Probably should have done, to be fair, but I wasn't tired. I wouldn't have slept. It was a waste of time. Waking up early, we're going to do a bit of programming, and we're also going to be figuring out the steps I'm going to be taking over this next week. So I've got a week where I need to deploy, push up the first blog, publish that, and then I have a week of prep, and then hopefully next week, assuming that Laura has time, next week we're just going to have a bit of a flurry. We have a bit of a punt, you know, into the market, see what happens. So I'm looking forward to that. Right, need to get all tucked up into bed and get sleep quick, because I'm waking up in about an hour and 45 minutes. Right, so I literally have my deployments all piped up. I've got my assets and my styles have already been deployed to my CDN. That's ready to rock and roll. I have the PR ready and built and ready to rock and roll from my point of view. Just gotta wait for Laura's feedback. All I need to do now is update the release. I've also created a production database. I haven't had a production database until now, for obvious reasons. I haven't needed one. So I've got a production database now. I'm just about to update the release, the deployment steps for that release. and I'm trying to figure out. I'm putting in the like connection details for the database and the storage account for the actual blogs themselves. I'm like, I should really put this and use in as your key vault or something like that. But it's one of them things. Where I'm like, that feels like belt and braces. That feels like I'm going a bit OTT on security, because putting it in key vault effectively means that you've taken it out of your app settings. And if it's out of your app settings, one, that means it's not in source control, which is the biggest plus, especially if I go open sourcing stuff. And then secondly, it's out of your app settings when the app's running. So if someone was to be able to get into Azure and get it, which I mean, if you can get into Azure, then you've got bigger problems, because Microsoft will be fucked. I'm sure Microsoft are doing a lot of things to make sure you can't get into Azure to see app settings at will. I'll Google it, figure out if it's like 3 o'clock, so I'm up for another hour and a half. I'm trying to figure out if it's worth me looking into. It might, to be honest with you, it probably is worth me looking into. I'm going to need to know at some point. And it's probably easier to do it sooner rather than later, you know what I mean? Because I don't have as much change. What I'll do is, I'll Google whether or not how important it is, i.e. what it defends against. I'll probably release this first though. I'll set up this release so I can get ready to go, and then I'll start looking at how to do it, and or if I need to do it, and or how expensive it is. So I'm trying to make sure that, like, a lot of the stuff I'm hosting is quite expensive, or could be quite expensive, because it's all being built, it's all being deployed in a way where I can just scale it, just at will. So I'm currently running, obviously everything's in the cloud, and if I ever wanted to, I could just like vamp it up. So I'm trying to use production grade stuff for as cheap as possible. I'm actually doing alright, to be honest with you. I've got, what have I got? You'd be amazed how much stuff there is just for like a public website. I've now got this database. So I've got a database, 2 accounts, 2 storage accounts? Or 1 storage account is that? 2 storage accounts, well okay, so 1 full storage account that I use, and then 1 that my CDN uses, also a CDN. Which is a content distribution network. I've got 2 web apps, and application insights, which is all monitoring and stuff. It's cost me like £12 a month or something like that. It's great. It's fucking great, mate. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty cheap. Like, it's obviously not free, and it's obviously not like, I think you can get like $5 hosting, but if you think about what it is that I've got there, that's lunacy. But yeah, so, damn. Hey, when you get ready and then realise, once you finish getting dressed, that you need to have a shave. Fuck's sake. Laura's gone off to uni. We ran a little bit late this morning. When I went to bed, I didn't get to sleep for like 45 minutes. It's so hot in this house, I'm not really sure why. So I delayed my wake up time by 45 minutes to compensate. And then I was like 15 minutes either side of Laura's alarm going off. So I thought I'd lie here and wait for Laura's alarm. And then it either didn't go off, or, because I was just on my phone effectively, it either didn't go off or she turned it off so fucking quick that I even noticed it, / I maybe dipped in and out of sleep. But then all of a sudden it was 8 o'clock and we had to like rush to get ready. So she had I made bacon sandwiches and whatnot while she was getting ready. She's gone, I've had a shower, got dressed. I need to get effectively undressed to have a shave. Put a YOLO in with the key vault thing, something I can do today. That is a little bit different. And I can roll it into the same deployment, so effectively the next deployment I do will use the key vault. I think I tweeted last night, I've realised one of the best times to deploy stuff to that website is going to be 3 o'clock in the morning when no one else is live, because last night I messed up the deployment of the assets. I say I messed it up. I deployed it using the same script that I used to run, but it failed because of a syntax error, which is bizarre. So I don't know whether or not there was a update to PowerShell or something, which means that that's not how you do it anymore. So fuck it. So yeah, I fixed that. It was a simple fix, but it meant that the site was pointing at the wrong styles, which obviously could in theory look bad, but it didn't look bad because I updated the styles before I updated the site. So yeah, I feel like Key Vault is probably a good way to go. Like I say, it's like filthy cheap to use for the scale I'm running it at, and I think I'm trying my best to use everything that I can that's production ready, so that when I end up having to flip it over so the rad spider can go live, I know effectively what I'm doing. I've never really been the person who manages all of this stuff. I've always done like the deployments to it, but effectively setting it up and all that kind of shit wasn't really something I did. So I'm learning, something to learn on side now. So yeah, it's good fun. Anyway, I need to look at this. Bad influence, Shawnee boy, already asking if I want to play Apex Legends later. God damn it. I said that, I've already got 3 hours and 45 minutes worth of work done today, boys. Woo! Before I fucking forget though, because I forgot yesterday, I need to do clothes washes. And I just need to do, basically wash everything we've got. I need to do a towel wash, bedding wash, and a clothes wash. Because I was supposed to do half of this shit yesterday, and it just went, woo! Straight out of my mind. So weird at the weekend when you like get ready later, because I feel like I've got ready for about an hour and a half ago, properly, after having my shave. Been doing about an hour and a bit of work. It's about time to have a nap. Kind of feels a bit strange. Whereas obviously normally I'm driving and leaving the house at like 7:30ish. So, but I didn't really move properly until after 10:30 today. So I just feels really odd. Like I've just woken up and I'm going back to bed. Can't quite figure out this goddamn key vault stuff. So I'm using user secrets locally now, and I'm just trying to figure out how to get the key vault to work in the environment. The annoying thing is that, well, I could, I guess, deploy it to a temporary environment just to fuck around with it. That might be a good shout, actually. Spin up a basic application so that I can see whether or not it works there, and then I can push it to... Alright, well, we'll do that then, won't I? So effectively, spin up a test environment, deploy to the test environment, try and make sure that that's alright, and then get all the config set up, do a couple of fake releases to there. As soon as I'm happy with it, then we can roll it out to my production environment. That's the correct way of doing it, instead of just being like setting it up and then just crossing my fingers and doing it really early in the morning, so hopefully no one notices. Naps go, that was goddamn brilliant. Right, let's go. Stew for dinner, and I need to go and get myself some bread. So I'm going to buy some posh bread to have with stew. I'm going to have it with my sandwiches as well for lunch. It's going to be great thinking about it though. Why am I putting my coat on? Why am I grabbing my coat when I could grab my little ball? So when I got back from getting all the bread, going out, you know, getting bread, you know how it is. I got a baguette, I got a normal loaf of bread, and some hot cross buns, which I got for Laura as a treat. Turns out she doesn't like them. Learn something new. We went, so I came back, did all the chores and shit, so I put the washing away, changed the bed, did the bedding and towel wash, and then sorted all that shit out. While that was going on, we played a couple of hours of that game, and then after dinner played an hour of it again as well. I'm enjoying it. It's a good game, all right. So I haven't actually done any infrastructure stuff yet. I'm going to do that in the morning when I wake up in about 2 hours time. Yeah, it is. Once I've got this bit sorted. To be fair, I could just back all of these changes out and just roll live regardless. But Laura's going to have a look over everything tomorrow, so we are delaying launch a bit. But I'm going shopping and then she's going to look at all my stuff for me. So. I keep falling into the habit, and it's a habit I try to train myself not to do, of vlogging about what I'm about to do instead of what I've done. I need to stop doing that. Because I end up just vlogging about things twice, and that doesn't make sense when you're not splitting the videos up day by day anymore. I generally didn't plan this. I appreciate the irony, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We're going to have some good meetings tomorrow, which are going to be like a good set the table a little bit, set my stall out, you know, looking forward to that. Got a big old architecture meeting. Yes! Just mean I've got to fucking nap at half an hour earlier than normal though. Puts meetings over nap time. God damn. You know what, fam? I'm pretty proud of myself. So I've got everything working, right? So what I've effectively done is, in the past day-ish, yeah, in the past day, I set up, on my local environment I set up using user secrets instead of using app settings, so none of my credentials are now in the app settings and therefore not in source control, which is going to be a pain in the ass when I swap between laptops, but in theory that doesn't happen very often. I've already updated it on my laptop. But yeah, if I ever pull down the code somewhere else and I need to connect to everything, I mean, I need to go off and find all the credentials and not even that, but the shape of that folder as well, but that'll be fun. So I did that. I then set up an Azure Key Vault to store all the credentials in production. So there's now like a, Azure has just a vault with all my keys in it, and I basically added my application. So then when you deploy an application to Azure, it registers, or you can configure it to register your application with Azure Active Directory. Active Directory then makes sure that only that application can access, or only applications you know about can access the Key Vault, so there's no credentials there either. Basically the only two things it can get, three things, but onto that in a minute, they can get into that Key Vault is the web apps and me. Obviously the web apps can only read, which is also good. So I did all that. I deployed a website, I deployed the database, which is a replica set cluster in Azure, not Azure actually, Atlas, Mongo Atlas. Updated the deployments and whatnot, and I'm like, right, okay, I think that'll run. The problem is, I can't run it locally. When I run it locally, I can't point at Azure AD, so I can't figure out whether or not that works. So I was like, fuck, how am I going to test this? Because what I was planning on doing was just deploying in the morning when everyone else is asleep, and then no one will know if I break it, right? And then I've just got to hope I put it back together again before I have to go to work, effectively. No, I spun up a dev environment, so I've now spun up a version of my website which is only accessible from this house. And I deployed the website there, ironed out some teething problems, which were, actually, there weren't any teething problems, it was just IP based. So the new application couldn't talk to my database because my database whitelists the applications that it cares about. Fix that. I think that was literally the only problem. Yeah, that's how I'm fucking watching for myself. I normally hate this kind of like operations-y kind of stuff, like sorting out deployments and sorting out things like that, but like genuinely really enjoyed that. It was really easy. I guess that was because I didn't really get kicked in the dick. But I've learnt stuff about how user secrets work and Azure Key Vault and whatnot. I feel like I've learned something, which is cool. What I freaking love is just being like, oh, I want a development environment. So the reason I did that as well was so tomorrow, or today, when I give Laura the website to look after, I'm going to be shopping. So I'm like, just go to this URL. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I'm genuinely watching myself, but I love how you can just basically just bring some up and then just blow it away the second you don't care about it anymore. Just like, there you go. So I'll turn off the dev environment as soon as I've pushed this thing to live. I'll just turn it off, and then I'll keep it there, but I'll just turn it off, and then it's just not that it costs me anything to run away, but it just sits there for free. What I haven't done is create a dev database and a dev, all the rest of it. I've just pointed it all at prod, on the grounds that I can't get another dev database for as cheap, for freezies. Basically, I've got a free cluster. Because at the moment, all it's doing is storing my blog metadata. So, don't need anything jazzier than that. It's great. Came downstairs to tell you that. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm normally a little bit hungry. It helps me wake up a little bit. So I normally have like a biscuit, and I haven't had a biscuit today. So I was being good. I had an orange instead. But I'm going to reward myself with a fucking Malteser voice. Next up, like I say, Laura's got to proofread it and I can publish it. So by the time you see this video, it should be published. So go check out my website, guys. It's got a load of new stuff on it, including a blog. Oh my god! Obviously, be pumping that out on my social media. On my what did Laura say? Something about like, oh, check me out on my socials. No, that made me laugh. What was I going to say? That. So now I just need to figure out, I've got an hour before I go back to bed. I need to figure out what I'm going to be doing next. Whether that's actual development of RadSpider, which I haven't done in a while because I've been focusing on this, or whether or not I am just going to jump straight into some marketing stuff for the site. I feel like the marketing stuff is most important. I'm having a bit of a flurry. I feel like that's the most important. It just doesn't feel as, I want to do some programming. I've enjoyed this. Half term this week, and you could bloody tell. I drove in today in less than 25 minutes. It was great. Cruised in, no problem whatsoever. Parked up, having a nice walk in because I don't go my walks at lunch now. I'm napping. It'll be a good day today. We have ourselves some programming to do. Well, no, actually, got a couple of things. Need to figure out how we're going to go about deploying the last thing I worked on, and or whether or not I'm deploying it now or when the rest of it's finished. I'm working on like a big feature, but that means figuring out how I need to test it, because it's going to be weird to test, and figuring out how to even deploy it in the first place, because it's a functions thing, so I can just smash the code into the functions, but I'm assuming we're going to want a proper pipeline out of it. So I'm going to have a bit of that fun there. That means I've got to talk to some pimps, and I've got some programming to do. I've got all the negative cases of that feature to write out, which is going to be fun. We're going to have a meeting today in the afternoon, so it's going to be like a Cody morning meetings. I feel like I've got a productive feeling today. Do feel a bit full. I had a small bowl of cereal and 2 hot cross buns for breakfast, so feeling a bit podged. I'm ready and raring to go. It's going to be a good one. Fucking good day today. It was really good. Shitload of meetings, but one of the meetings, the good meeting of the day, was the first significant step forward to making the improvements that I want to make to the architecture, and I effectively got the green light as well. So we were like, right, that's step 1. I'm like, you're aware of what step 1 is, right? It's more than what you just said there. It's this, and this. I'm like, yep. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm happy. Like, it's not official. I don't start it tomorrow, but it's basically approved. It's just a really good meeting. It's just a really good meeting that I think I played really well, because I could have stuffed it. It was mine to lose, you know. But it was just, I'm happy about that. It's a thing I've often thought about, is like how you game theory things like that. So there's some things I desperately want, but there's loads of things I want, but there's some things I desperately want. So I find the things I desperately want, take some concedes, and then effectively use the things that play some kind of thing like, oh yeah, we'll let you do, yeah, we'll do that, what you want, not what I want, we'll do what you want, not what I want, and then go, oh yeah, here's this great big thing here. There go, doggos. There's this great big thing here, which basically means we're gonna have to do what I wanted anyway. And you basically just sold this to yourself. I love that shit. Politics, almost. So, good times. I'm trying to say is, sometimes if you make a couple of small L's, if you take a couple of small L's, you can glue them together into one big fuck off W, you know what I'm saying, boys? I need to shut up talking now, so let's get in the car, drive home, have a nap. I had an early nap because that meeting was over lunch, so and I didn't sleep very well because of it, so I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna nap like a dog when I get home. Sainsbury's for 1 today, boys. Laura's at home doing revision, boom, which means doing some kind of jiu-jitsu between scanning the stuff, checking the list, and putting it in the bag with only 2 sets of hands and 2 sets of pockets. And ladies and gentlemen, back home from shopping, obviously. Just spent the last 2 hours since I got back going over the changes that Laura suggested, fixed up the pricing page and the blog. I actually did quite a significant rewrite of a section of the blog because it was too CVE, it was too much about me, and things that didn't really add anything, and we discussed it with Laura for like 20 minutes, and I was like, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I wasn't hitting what I was aiming to hit, so we deployed. I was hoping to deploy today, so I'm happy about that, even though deploying in the morning would have been fine. Which means, ladies and gentlemen, in the link down below, there's a link, in the description down below, there is a link to the first blog that I've released on varialis.com or .co.uk, whichever one you want to go to. Check it out, let me know what you think. It goes into what Varialis is and what Rad Spider is, and kind of why I started creating them. There's going to be another one next week about why I think code reviews are important and why I think doing them, how you should do them to get the most out of them. So that's that. Cool. I'm pretty freaking chuffed with that, ladies and gentlemen. had a bit of a scare when I was trying to deploy the changes, and I couldn't deploy them to my dev environment because I'd since locked the dev environment down to only be accessible from this IP address, which meant when it was being deployed to, the deployment server couldn't turn it on effectively. Good times. Right, phew, we're live. Cool. Right, well thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you later.